Hey everyone, for today's video, I really wanted to tackle decluttering my makeup collection. This is currently how I've had my makeup stored, and it's been this way for the past maybe 4 years. I really like it and it's worked well for me, but we are going to be moving to New York soon and I can't really justify taking up so much space just for my own vanity. And over the past year, I've been slowly going through my makeup and slowly getting rid of things, but I think it's time for a real big declutter, and I'm gonna try to be as ruthless as possible. So here's what the storage looks like up close. I have 2 of these Muji acrylic drawers that have a lot of my lip products and eyeshadow singles and some stick blush products. And then I have 2 full drawers of makeup here. So this is the bulk of what we're going to tackle. And then I also have these little drawers here, which the second drawer has some eyeshadow palettes. The rest of it is skincare, lashes, and stuff. All right, let's start off with some easy containers. I keep most of my makeup in these containers that I got from Daiso. So these are mostly my complexion products as well as a couple of miscellaneous things. Let's just take everything out. Okay, let's organize this into category first. Let's start off with all of the powders and powder foundations that I have. So this one was actually pretty easy for me. I have a couple of loose powders that I don't really use. I honestly don't use powder much anymore. Out of my loose powders, my Hourglass one is my favorite. I feel like this one is just the most dry skin friendly. So because of that, I think I can get rid of these 2. This is the Glossier Powder, and then this is the Thrive Cosmetics powder. Both of them are really good, but I really just don't need this much powder. And then I am going to keep this little container for loose powder because this is the full-size version of the Hourglass powder, and it's just so big, especially if you want to travel with it. So I do keep the travel size one. I never use this Bare Minerals Original Powder Foundation. From what I remember, it honestly does look quite good on dry skin, but I'm just not really a powder foundation girl. This is a Sephora Micro Smooth Baked Powder. I can't even remember the last time I used this powder, so definitely time to let it go. I am going to hold on to my Makeup Forever powder foundation. This is barely used. I got it on sale for 40% off, and it is a really good, nice powder foundation. Very blurring and provides a lot of coverage, so I am going to hold on to this one. I am also going to hold on to this teeny tiny little sample of the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder. I know this is a lot of people's favorites, and I feel like this is just a nice one to try out. Next up, we have my concealers. I love my Kosas concealer. Definitely going to keep the one in the shade 2. And then when I first bought it, I bought it in the shade 3.5, but that was definitely too dark for me. I am going to hold on to it just in case I get a little tan this summer. I bought this Can Make powder when I was in Japan, I believe. I bought it because Pony used it in a couple of her tutorials, but I definitely don't use this product at all, so I'm gonna get rid of it. This is my fungal acne safe concealer of choice. It's the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I use it in the shade Vanilla, and I think it's really nice. It's not the most dewy, but it really sinks into the skin really nicely and looks really natural. I have this Oma Beauty Stay Woke concealer, but I really haven't used it much, and it never really blew me away when I did use it. When it comes to complexion products, I never feel the need to keep extra things. I just use the same products every day, so I think I'm also going to declutter this one. Then I do have 2 shades of the Glossier Stretch Concealer. This was also before they expanded their shade range, so I have the shades Light and Medium. I do quite like this formula. It's very nice and dewy, and it does provide a decent amount of coverage, but I always had to mix 2 shades, and to be quite honest, I would rather just use my Kosas concealer. I don't have to use my fingers with it. It's less messy and it provides more coverage. Onto my foundation products. I have 3 here. The one that I'm currently using and loving is actually sitting on top of my vanity. It's the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Skin Tint. Because I have that one, I really don't feel the need to keep this NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. I was using it for a little while, but I much prefer the Fenty one. These 2 are actually foundations. This is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and this is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. My Catrice foundation is kind of messy right now, but I do actually really like this product. I like to mix it in with some squalane oil, and I feel like it gives a really nice natural finish. This foundation is super thin and lightweight on the skin, but it does offer a good amount of coverage as well, so I think I am going to hold on to this one. This Bourjois Healthy Mixed Serum Foundation is also really nice. I remember liking how it looked on the skin, but this is actually pretty old in my collection and I don't really reach for it, so I think I would just rather use my Fenty one. I missed a powder. This is the JCat Aquassurance Powder Foundation. This is also really nice. It's very similar to the Makeup Forever one, but since I am going to keep the Makeup Forever one, I don't think I need this one as well. I have this NYX Glitter Primer, which I really don't use much, but I feel like this is just one of those products that's nice to keep in your collection. I think I am going to declutter this Too Faced Shadow Insurance Eyeshadow Primer. I just really don't use eyeshadow primer and I don't really find the need for one. Next we have a couple of lip balm products that I keep. I think I am going to definitely get rid of this Kiehl's Butter Mask for lips. I think this was a gift, but I haven't used it once. I'm also going to get rid of this Jouer Lip Enhancer. It just says it's a conditioning lip treatment, but I remember buying it because I saw one influencer put it on her lips and it made her lips look really juicy and plump. But honestly, I don't think it's too different from the other lip balms that I have, and I always love using my Laneige Lip Glowy Balm. Speaking of, I do have 2 of these Laneige lip sleeping masks because these things last forever. I think this sample is pretty much done. Actually, there's quite a bit left, but I think I'm going to pass this one along. It's been a while since I opened it. I really haven't been using the lip sleeping mask at all since I got the lip balm. And there's quite a bit of product in this left, but really on a daily basis, I just like to reach for the balm version just because it's in nicer packaging and it just is really easy to apply to the lips. So I think I am just going to be getting rid of this one. I am, on the other hand, going to be keeping this super beat up looking Bite Agave lip mask. This becomes my go-to lip balm when it's winter and it's super dry. So I am going to be holding on to this one. And then here is my Dior Lip Glow. I really don't reach for this enough, but it's such a nice product. I have mine in the shade Coral. It's really just such a sheer product, but it's really pretty and I love the packaging, so I am just gonna keep holding on to this one. All right, here are the miscellaneous products in those containers. I'm gonna be getting rid of these ColourPop gel eyeliners. They are really pretty colors, but I just don't really like this formula at all. The purple one is definitely more dried out. And this yellow one is kind of cool. I kind of like the idea of doing yellow eyeliner with it, so maybe I'll hold on to it for now. Over here are 2 of my new favorite one and done eyeshadows. This is the e.l.f. Liquid Metallic Eyeshadow in the shade Meteor, and then this is the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize Cream Shadow in the shade Amber Gold. They're very similar colors. The e.l.f. one is a little bit more intense and bronzy, but yeah, I love both of these. This is a little Bobbi Brown eye corrector that I really don't ever use, and I find that it doesn't really sit well with my other concealers, so I'm just gonna get rid of this one. This is another mini of the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I absolutely never use this. I have this House of Lashes eyelash glue that I don't really use, but I am going to be keeping. Ooh, this is a limited edition Mario collection that Shu Uemura did, and they came out with this gorgeous gold eyelash curler. I used to always use my Shu Uemura eyelash curler, but I switched to using a Shiseido, and I think the Shiseido one fits my eyes a little bit better. So I don't really have any reason to hold on to this anymore. Even though it's so cute, I love the color and this little keychain. Okay, honestly, not bad. This is the pile of stuff that I decided to keep. This is the stuff I'm getting rid of, and I would say it's like about half. Next up, we are gonna move on to another pretty easy one, hopefully. This one is also pretty organized, but let me just take everything out of here. These are my highlighters, by the way. Okay, right off the bat, the ones that I'm definitely going to be keeping are my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have mine in the shade 2, and this is just pretty much my all-time favorite liquid luminizer kind of product. I am also going to hold on to the Glossier Play highlighter. This is the Night Shine formula. This one is fungal acne safe, which is really nice. It's very bright and intense, so I do like to use this time to time. Another one of my favorite products is the Becca liquid highlighter. Liquid highlighters in general are my favorite. I feel like they give the most like dewy finish without being tacky or anything on the skin. This one is nice. It has a little bit more of that shimmer to it, but isn't like super chunky or anything, so I do love this Becca product. As far as powder highlights go, this one from Nabla is probably my all-time favorite. This is their skin glazing highlight, and I have mine in the shade Amnesia, which is a really nice champagne gold color. Love this product. And then this product is actually really similar. This is from Clinique, and I don't actually know if this was a limited edition product or not, but it has a very similar formula to the Nabla one. This one is a little bit brighter and a little bit more pinky. And then, oh man, these used to be some of my favorite highlighters. These are from Essence. I have the Sunlighter, which is like a nice golden color, and then I liked to mix it with the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. However, I don't actually know if I really like these types of formulas as much anymore. These are more of like a subtle highlighter, so they look very smooth on the skin and they have a nice glow to them, but they don't reflect quite as much light. I feel like just applying my skincare and maybe a cream blush sometimes gives me enough dewiness, where I feel like if I put this kind of highlighter on top of it, it would actually make my skin look less dewy, if that makes sense. So as much as I love these, I think I'm ready to let go of them. Some ones that I'm definitely ready to let go, I have this Laura Geller Gilded Honey highlighter. This one was super popular on YouTube way back when. Oh man, I don't know, I just feel like the color of this one is perfect if you want a gold highlight, because it's not too yellow, it's not too bronzy, it's not too icy. I might hold on to this for a little bit longer and compare it with my other favorite ones. This product is another OG YouTube product, and it's the Mary Luminizer by The Balm. But I just swatched it and it does feel quite a bit more chalky than my other favorite highlighters, so I'm not really loving the formula. I have this little mini size of Becca Opal in the powder form, but I never use this one. And I don't love the Becca highlighters in powder form quite as much. I also have the liquid form of Opal here. I think I got this in a little duo actually, but I always reach for Champagne Pop now. I think, let me actually put them side by side. I never really liked this packaging very much because I feel like it was always hard to control how much product comes out. Okay, surprisingly, the texture on them feel very different. Opal actually blends into my skin really well. Like, you can barely see any of the pigment, but you can definitely see where I put Champagne Pop. So I think I'm gonna keep Champagne Pop. If I'm gonna use a product like this, I usually want it to be more of this color. So I think I'm gonna get rid of Opal. And then I actually have a couple of stick highlighters. This one is by Hourglass, and I remember these were all the rage when they first came out, but nowadays, honestly, that cream highlighters are so big. I really do not reach for this at all. It is a really pretty product. I have mine in the shade Champagne Flash, but if I had to choose between this and one of these products, then I would usually go for the liquid. So for that reason, I think I'm ready to pass on this Hourglass highlighter. And then same thing kind of goes for this ColourPop stick. I don't love stick highlighters that much, and this one is, wow, I didn't realize this was such a orange color. But when I first bought this, I did think it was pretty to just kind of blend out all over the cheeks and give a really nice bronzy glow, but I never reach for it anymore and I don't really need it. These are my two favorite ColourPop highlighters, and actually I have two more. Let me grab them. This one is in the shade Flexitarian, and this one is On the Cusp, and this one is Fire. These blue ones are a Kathleen Lights collaboration, and apparently they were all made to have this same formula as Flexitarian, which is just like ultra wet and metallic, but Flexitarian is such a silver color. I've been kind of holding on to this for like special occasions, but I don't actually think I would ever reach for something this color now. And then On the Cusp and Fire are really gorgeous. On the Cusp was my favorite highlighter for a long time. Such a pretty color. But I think I can get rid of Fire. It's just too deep for me. I have two of these loose highlighters from Artist Couture, and I don't know, I don't reach for them very much, but I know they are such pretty products. This one is in the shade Summer Haze, and this one is in the Peach. I definitely don't need to keep both of these, but I think I am going to hold on to one of them and maybe test out the formula just to get a refresher on how I like these. I also have this Becca Glow Stick, which I honestly don't think I should keep. I'm not really into like a dewy highlighter balm. It doesn't feel super sticky or anything, but it does feel kind of oily. And like I said, I would definitely prefer using one of my liquid highlighter formulas over this, so I think I'll also pass this on. We have one more product here. This is the Hourglass limited edition highlighter palette that they came out with a couple of years ago. I honestly am not the biggest fan of Hourglass products. I am kind of attached to this palette because it's limited edition and I remember being obsessed with it back in the day. I haven't used it in a while though, so I think I'm going to hold on to it for a little bit longer and try it out again. But otherwise, I think I have some pretty great powder formulas already. Alright, here are the ones I'm going to be keeping with some caveats. And then these are all of the ones that I'm going to be decluttering. I've been kind of dreading this one, but I think I'm finally ready to tackle my bronzers. I don't think I'll be able to make as much of a dent as I did in the previous ones, but let's pull these out. Starting off with the ones that I for sure am going to keep. This Gucci bronzer is just too beautiful to declutter. I'm definitely going to keep this one. The one that I've been using every day lately is this Huda Beauty Tantour. This is fungal acne safe. It has a beautiful formula. It lasts a really long time, so I definitely love this product a lot. I also actually really love all of my Fenty bronzers. I have this one is the powder one. I have the shade Into Sun, and then I have two shades of the cream bronzer. I think they look so beautiful in the spring and summer. Something I'm ready to let go is this L'Oreal Lumi bronzer. I actually got it pretty recently. I bought it to try out in a video, and I did really like it. It has a pretty like nice, smooth, neutral color and like a little bit of a sheen to it, but it is a little bit light and I honestly just kind of hate the packaging of it. It's way too big, so it doesn't really fit in when I store the rest of them. This product is one that might be expired now, although it never smelled the great in the first place. This is the Milk Makeup cream bronzer. It's not my favorite cream bronzer formula, and I've had it for a while, so I'm just gonna let this one go. I think I can also get rid of this Can Make powder. This is another product that I bought because of Pony, and this shade in particular I think is really nice for contouring or doing like a nose contour, but I'm not super into that detailed shading and I don't really need another product just for that. I am going to hold on to my Becca Sunrise Waves bronzer. This is a really beautiful product that has a little bit of some like sheen and highlighty bits in it, and I probably won't be able to get my hands on this product anymore in a couple months, so I am gonna hold on to this. This is a Physicians Formula bronzer that I bought at the same time I tried the L'Oreal powder bronzer. I actually remember really liking this one. I haven't used it a ton since, but this did have a pretty nice formula and I did enjoy using it, so I'm gonna hold on to it a little bit longer. Oh, the Snobla bronzer is definitely one of my favorites. Not gonna be getting rid of this one. Such a gorgeous powder bronzer. It's not quite as shiny as it looks in the pan, but it is a beautiful creamy powder formula and I love it so much. I've had this Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder for a while and it is a really nice product, but I don't use it at all anymore and I don't know if it's worth keeping in my collection. I mean, I don't really have any other contour products. This is another bronzer that I've actually hit pan on that has a little bit of a contour shade in it, so maybe I'll keep holding on to this one. It's nice and small. So this Too Cool for School art class by Rogin powder is one of my favorites, or used to be one of my favorites, and clearly I have used a lot of it, but I haven't reached for it since, and I feel like some of it has hard panned here. But yeah, this is a little bit more of a matte product, and I think I do prefer some of the formulas that I'm keeping already, so I think I can just let this one go now. This is actually not a bronzer. This is the M Cosmetics blush in the shade Faded Clementine. I put it here because it didn't fit with my blushes. I'm on the fence on this one. It is a pretty formula, but I don't know if I need it, so I'm just gonna set it aside for now. This Hourglass bronzer is another one I'm on the fence about. I have mine in the shade Luminous Bronze Light, and I feel like the shades of these bronzers are a little bit off. I wish they had something that was a little bit more neutral, but I do remember enjoying this bronzer a lot and it looks gorgeous in the packaging. I just don't really reach for it anymore, but maybe I should try it out again. This Clinique bronzer was a little bit more of a recent purchase. I think I picked it up towards the end of last year and I remember really liking the finish of this. The color is a little bit too warm for me to use in the winter, but I think this is like a really nice summery bronze color, so gonna hold on to this one. I'm also going to hold on to this Tower 28 bronzer. It's in the shade West Coast and I was sent this recently for a review and it's a nice product. It's definitely unique in my bronzer collection, So I think this will be nice to use in the summer. I'm also going to hold on to my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. This is another product that I haven't used in quite some time, but I do still really like it. And I also do quite like the powder highlight as well. It's just such a beautiful product that I think I'm going to keep in my collection. And then these are a couple of drugstore bronzers that I just don't know. I think they're all pretty good. I think I remember really liking the Maybelline one. This one has a little bit more of a yellow undertone to the color, which looks quite nice on my skin, and I feel like this one also lasts quite a while. So I think I'll hold on to this one. The Milani one, I haven't really used much at all. You can see there's like barely any mark in the product, but I did put it on today just to see, and I actually quite liked how my makeup turned out. So I'm on the fence about this one, but I think I'm gonna lean towards no. Butter bronzer is such a classic that I still just want to keep it, but this is just another product that hasn't really stuck out to me in any way, and I can't really pinpoint anything about it in my memory. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it in the declutter pile for now. But I may pull it back in. This is a ColourPop bronzer. I just never really gravitate towards this one. The color is a little bit off for me, I think. So I think I'm just gonna get rid of this one. I think I am going to hold on to this Makeup Revolution bronzer a little bit. I remember it being quite sheer, but there's just something about these baked formulas that I feel like have the most natural, beautiful sheen to them. So here's what I'm keeping. Here's what I'm decluttering. Honestly, I feel like I did better than I was expecting. Obviously, I still have a lot of bronzers for one person, but I feel pretty good about this. All right, I'm actually feeling pretty encouraged now, so I figured I should ride that wave and tackle my biggest category, which is blush. Here's a couple more stragglers, and this collection is pretty insane because blush was probably the product that I had the least of a couple of years ago, and now I have this many. So let's take everything out. Okay, this is overwhelming. Let me start picking apart some. So I know I have quite a few of these Nude Sticks blushes. I am going to keep all of the matte shades that I have. I have In the Nude, Salty Siren, and Sunkiss. And then I have two of the dewy version. In the dewy version, I have Tiger Lily Queen and Poppy Girl. I'm definitely gonna get rid of Poppy Girl. This one is just like a red color that I don't really reach for. Tiger Lily Queen is a really gorgeous, bright corally color, although this one, it looks kind of pink. I just don't love this formula as much as the matte version, and I feel like the colors that I have in the matte version already have me covered. So I think I'm gonna declutter both of these. I am going to finally get rid of this Burt's Bees blush. It's in the shade Peach, and it's a nice formula, but I just don't need it. It doesn't really stand out to me. Same with this Cover FX compact. I love the packaging of it. It's so cute, but I am not really wowed by this formula, even though I know a lot of people love it. Same thing with the color, so I think this can find a new home. I really like these 3CE powder blushes, but I definitely don't need this many colors because it's not a formula that I reach for too often. Nude Peach is pretty chalky and sheer, so I think I can get rid of this one. Oh my god, I just tried to swatch my 3CE blushes, and they're so hard to swatch. They're just like so finely milled, and they're quite blurring sheer powders, so it's really hard to tell. But I don't think I need both of these colors. These are pretty similar. I do really like this one because it's more unique. It's a little bit more of like a cantaloupe orange color. I do want to hold on to this one in the shade Mono Pink because I feel like I don't have as many more cool toned pink colors, and I find that 3CE really does pink colors on Asian skin tones well, so I'm gonna hold on to this one. I'm on the fence about this color Rose Beige. This is probably one of the most popular ones. It's just that like perfect rosy brown color, but I feel like most of my blushes are the most similar to this, so I might just let this one go. This Buxom blush is another one that was really popular, and I tried for a while to see whether I liked it or not, and I still don't really know. I think it's fine, but it's not my favorite blush or blush formula, so I'm gonna let this one go. My favorite powder blush formula is probably the Clinique Cheek Pops, but I don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades of it plus a highlighter, so we definitely need to pare this down. I'm definitely going to keep this palette. I really like both of these colors as well as the highlight. And then in terms of these, I think I can definitely let go of Heather Pop. I am going to keep Melon Pop. This one is really nice and bright and fun, and it's more of a contrast between the like nude colors that we have in here. And then between Peach Pop and Fig Pop, I don't really know. I think Fig Pop, I really like this color for the fall, and I don't really have anything super similar, so I think I'll keep this one. I have quite a few brighter peachy blushes, so I'm not sure. I don't think I need this one too. Okay, I have two of these Glossier Cloud Paints. These are probably the first cream blushes I got, but honestly, I think there are so many better formulas on the market. These are super pigmented and they might be long lasting, but I just find these a little bit hard to use. I never reach for them. I pretty much just keep them for like comparison purposes. But I'm just not the biggest fan of Glossier, to be honest, and I am now ready to let these go. I'm gonna let go of this 3CE cushion. It's a nice product, but I just never reached for it. And in general, I do prefer cream blushes over liquid generally. Also gonna let go of this Milk Makeup cream blush. I definitely prefer the Nude Sticks ones. I have a couple of these Kosas blushes, which honestly are probably gonna go bad soon. I have one in the pressed powder formula, which I honestly never reach for. This one does have a little bit of a better shelf life, but I'm just ready to let this one go. I have the cream duo in two shades. This is Tropic Equinox and Velvet Melon. Absolutely love both. They don't look so hot right now, but I think they're still good. Once you warm up the product, they still work fine. So I'm gonna still hold on to these for a little bit more. Here's another 3CE blush that I think I'm just gonna declutter. It's a super cool concept. You kind of layer the two colors, or you can mix them together and it creates this nice coral color, but it's just a little bit too finicky, and again, I never reach for it. Ooh, I am going to keep this blush from Becca. It's their blush in the color Wild Honey, and this is just such a beautiful like golden warm brown color that's really unique, and I also really like the formula of it. It has a beautiful sheen, so I am going to hold on to this. I have this blush from Nabla, and even though I love the highlighter, I find that this blush formula is just okay. I haven't really reached for it too much since I got it, so I think I am going to hold on to it a little bit more and just solidify my thoughts on it. I have the Tower 28 cream blushes in two shades, and I love these. This is the shade Golden Hour, this is the shade Magic Hour, and these are beautiful. I have a couple of M Cosmetics blushes here. I have two of their Baked blush formula and two of the serum blushes. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna hold on to the serum blushes anymore. I definitely can declutter Sunset Sky. This color is really beautiful, but it's just quite pigmented. Rose Milk is nice. I do like this formula overall, but I just find that it's a little bit harder to use than some of my other cream and liquid blushes, so I don't reach for it for that reason. Rose Milk is a really pretty color if you want a super natural color blush, but sometimes this can be like a little bit too natural for what I would like, so I don't know. I think I might just let both of these go. Another liquid blush formula that I think is good, but I just, again, don't really use much is the Rare Beauty one. This one is the Dewy formula in the shade Joy, and it is such a pretty color. I really love this bright coral blush, but it's just like a little bit hard to use. It's super pigmented, but I think I'm gonna hold on to it a little bit more just because I love the color so much. Another formula that I absolutely love and have almost every color in is the Flower Beauty Blush Bombs. I think I'm actually just gonna keep all four of these because I would say this is my favorite liquid blush formula. I think the pigmentation level is perfect. They're nice and dewy, but they aren't sticky, and they have a ton of really nice colors that are really fun to mix together. So I think I am going to keep all of these. I will declutter this Physicians Formula liquid blush. It is really nice. I just don't really see a place for it in my collection. I have two shades in the MAC Extra Dimension blush formula. These are so pretty. These are probably my favorite like shimmery blush formula that isn't too over the top and glittery. I am gonna keep this peach one. I think it's a gorgeous color. This color I reach for in the fall sometimes, but it's not my favorite and I don't think I need it. I have two of the Patrick Ta cream blush duos. This one is in the shade Do We Know Her, and then this one is She's So LA. I do like these, but I wish I liked them even more. I don't know. I I don't reach for them all the time, but they're really pretty colors and they're just so fun to use. So I am going to hold on to these. Back to the M Cosmetics blushes. I don't know. I don't have super strong feelings about this baked formula. I think it's nice, but I think I still prefer my Clinique Cheek Pops and even the 3CE one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm quite ready to let both of them go yet, but they are on my list of things that I need to try and determine whether or not they're worth keeping. I have a couple of these pressed powder blushes from ColourPop. This is another one of those mauve shades that I just don't really reach for. So I think I can let this one go. And then I really liked this Mulan collection that they came out with. This blush is such a pretty color, but I just hate how there's a bunch of micro glitters in it. And unfortunately, they don't tap out on the skin. They really do show up. I think I'm going to see if I can find another owner for this. This Sailor Moon blush has the coolest packaging. It has this holographic thing on it. I think I'm going to hold on to this one, mostly because of the packaging, but also because I feel like for some reason, I don't mind the glitter as much in this color that's nice and bright. These Alamar blushes are so pretty. I don't really reach for them, but they're kind of tucked into the side of my vanity. I am going to hold on to them just because I don't have too many powder blushes besides the Clinique ones that I absolutely love. And this one does have a little bit more of that cool toned pink if I need that. This is the Milani Baked Blush in Dolcissimo, and I think I am going to hold on to this one. It's just such a pretty light peachy color. I do kind of like blushes that are a little bit on the lighter side, and I think they reformulated this one to be even more shimmery, so I'm gonna keep my original. This Marc Jacobs blush I bought on sale because I think they discontinued these. I do really like this compact. I like this product a lot as a whole, but as for the blush itself, I don't know if I'm in love with it. I think it looks a teeny bit powdery on the skin, so yeah, I don't know. I don't think I need it. And then we have my MAC Glow Play blushes. I don't think I'm going to be getting rid of any of these. This one is in the shade So Natural. It's just like the perfect nude pink beige blush. This one in the shade Cheer Up is actually probably my favorite like pink blush that I have. It's a really pretty color. And this last one is in the shade Grand, and this one is a really pretty rosy color, but it came damaged, so they just let me keep it for free. But I actually did reach for this product quite a bit. It's still usable, and I love this rosy pink color quite a bit. Okay, honestly, not bad. I still have quite a few blushes that I'm keeping, but these are all the ones that I set aside, so maybe not quite half, but definitely a good amount purged. Okay, next we're tackling an easier container just to give myself a little bit of a break. These are mostly my eyeliners and my mascaras and stuff, so let's take everything out. I don't need to get rid of too much here, but I feel like I have a couple of duplicate products that I don't really need. Definitely going to be keeping these two eyebrow products. This is the Jason Wu Micro Brow Pencil. This is the Shu Uemura Hard Formula Eyebrow Pencil. And then this is my everyday eyeliner. It's the M Cosmetics Brush Tip Brown Eyeliner. I actually have two of these Kat Von D black liquid eyeliners, which used to be my everyday eyeliner. I think I will still keep these just so I can use them after the M Cosmetics one runs out. I feel like I can declutter a couple of these eyebrow products. This is a Pony Effect eyebrow pencil. This is an Etude House one. And then this is the Essence Make Me Brow. I actually do quite like this eyebrow gel, but this color is just too light for me. These are the two brown pencil liners that I really like. This is the Marc Jacobs Highliner, and then I have the Urban Decay one in the color Whiskey. The Urban Decay one is a little bit more blendable, whereas the Marc Jacobs ones I feel like are really set in place pretty quickly. I also think I can just get rid of this Glossier Boy Brow. I pretty much always reach for the M Cosmetics one, so I don't need both. This is a ColourPop eyeliner that I really like. It's more of like a metallic brown color. These ColourPop eyeliners are not my favorite because they're so soft. But this one is in the shade Overboard, and it's really pretty soft metallic brown. But I think I will get rid of the matte brown one. Like I said, this formula just like breaks all the time, so I don't need it. I will be keeping this Makeup Forever Aqua Resist color pencil. It's in such a pretty color. It's in the shade Lagoon, and I think it's really nice. I have this Victoria Beckham kohl pencil in the color black, but I don't really like this one because I feel like when you blend it out, it has quite a cool toned like blue base to it, which I don't really like for my makeup. I've had this Smashbox pencil for so long. I wonder if it's still good. Okay, yeah, I don't think this pencil is very good anymore. It's kind of patchy, so it's time to get rid of that. And then here I just have the 2 mascaras that I'm rotating through. I'm gonna need some new ones soon, but until I get new ones, I'll hold on to them. Oh, and then here is the e.l.f. brow pomade product. This is a Fun Acne Safe brow product, so I am gonna keep it. I'm usually too lazy to use this, but I do actually like the end result that I get with this product quite a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I do also have another Shu Uemura eyelash curler here that I can probably just get rid of. All right, everyone, it is time to tackle the eyeshadow palettes and also some face palettes here because that's where I used to store them together. And it's crazy how many palettes I have now that I took them out because my storage system definitely hides a lot of these palettes from my everyday view. Let's start off with some palettes that I've used within the past couple of months. I think I'm definitely going to be decluttering this Jason Wu palette. It is not a bad palette, but the shimmers in it are pretty weak and I don't love the colors. I think I am going to hold on to the matte version. I quite like this assortment of colors and the formula is nice and smooth. One of my favorite palettes is actually this Anastasia Sultry palette. I've talked about this before, but I just really like how the shimmers in here are really nice and metallic and they actually look nice and shimmery on my eyelids. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. The Charlotte Tilbury palette is also one that's newer to my collection. I really like this. It makes it super easy to come up with like a really gorgeous eyeshadow look. This Milk Cosmetics Rust palette is also somewhat new to my collection. It has some really gorgeous earthy warm tone brown colors and I do really like the quality of this eyeshadow palette. It's like the perfect eyeshadow palette for the fall and I do really like it. I have a couple of Charlotte Tilbury quads and I don't need all of these. This one is definitely my favorite, the one with the special packaging. This is the Fire Rose Luxury palette and it just has the prettiest colors. I think I could get away with letting go of the Bella Sophia. This one is quite deep and bronzy. I don't know if it's my favorite. I think I will keep the Pillow Talk quad. This is a really easy, nice everyday palette to use. I don't have too many pinky colored eyeshadows. I really liked Golden Goddess when I got it, but I think overall it's a little bit too cool toned for my preferences. Dreamgasm was actually the first one that I bought and I think I will keep this one. I really like that gold color and I think these colors look really nice together. Some old palettes that I haven't seen in a while. This one is this Etude House palette. Love the packaging so much, but honestly it doesn't really fill a hole in my collection and it's a little bit hard to store. I really like these Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a palette. It pretty much just has everything you would ever need and it's really nice for travel, but honestly I haven't used it a ton. I would rather reach for individual products, so I think I'm ready to let this one go. Another eyeshadow palette that I for sure want to keep is the ColourPop Sailor Moon palette. Again, it has this really cute holographic packaging and I love the colors in here. They're a nice assortment of pastels that are really fun to play with in the springtime. I am also going to keep both of my ColourPop purple palettes. I wish I could just like combine these and maybe I will someday because I do like to use these palettes together. I think mostly I like the It's My Pleasure palette, but there are a couple of colors in here that are really nice as well. The Honey palette I'm not sure about. I did have a thing for yellow eyeshadows, but honestly I think as long as one of my other palettes has one mustard color that I can use, then I would be okay with that. I don't need an entire palette full of yellow eyeshadows. I have 2 of these Rowan eyeshadow palettes and these are pretty unique in that they are more of like a creamy, oily formula where there's a lot of glitter and pigment packed into there. It's a little bit harder to work with. You definitely have to use your fingers, but the effect that they give the eyelids is so pretty. Because they're so unique and I do reach for them sometimes, I'm gonna hold on to them. This is another one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. This one just has such a perfect assortment of neutral colors. I just really like the formula and the finishes of them. On the other hand, this is another palette that I really love the formula of. I would love to get my hand on another Natasha Denona palette one day, but honestly I just don't love the colors in this one enough to make me reach for it. So I am finally ready to let this one go. This Milani Pure Passion palette, I don't even know. I maybe used it once or twice. This one I'm definitely okay with getting rid of. Here's a palette that isn't eyeshadows. This is actually a discontinued NARS highlighter and bronzer palette. I bought this off of Poshmark or something because I was on the hunt for it, but I have a ton of highlighters and bronzers that I already love and I never ever reach for this palette. I will be keeping the Natasha Denona bronze palette. This has some really beautiful colors and I don't reach for it enough, but I do really like reaching for this once in a while. Let's take a look at my K-Beauty eyeshadow palettes that I have. I have 2 by 3CE, 1 by Peach C, and then this one is by Clio. These are all really nice palettes actually. I am going to be keeping Overtake. This is probably like the most popular 3C eyeshadow palette ever and it is really nice. I don't reach for it too often, but I would say it's definitely one of their better palettes. This is one of their newer palettes. They came out with these clear ones and I got the warm toned one in the shade Buttercream. I don't like the formula as much as the Overtake eyeshadows, but I still do like to reach for this palette sometimes. I think I'm ready to actually let go of this Peach C palette. I thought this was going to be a more neutral version of Overtake, but I don't really love the rosy tones that this eyeshadow palette pulls towards. I do actually quite like this Clio palette. The looks that I create with it are really unique and these colors look really nice on me. And we have a couple of palettes here that I'm not sure about. I have the Anastasia Jackie Aina palette, which I definitely do not reach towards, but these colors are just so beautiful and I don't really have anything quite as colorful and pigmented, so I think this is a fun palette to keep. This is the Dose of Colors Desi and Katie palette. Honestly, the only color that's drawing me into this palette is this green. Oh my god, it's such a pretty color. I actually think I might just keep this palette for this green. There was definitely a time where peach colored eyeshadows were so popular. Definitely do not reach for this Too Faced Sweet Peach palette at all. I do really like this color, Summer Yum. It's like the perfect neutral reddish brown color. And then I have the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. I totally forgot that I had this one actually. I do like peach eyeshadows, but I'm not really drawn to the colors in this palette. I think I'm gonna say no for this, as well as this one. I can't justify keeping an entire palette for just 1 or 2 shades. Although I did literally just say I was keeping the Dose of Colors one. This is a ColourPop palette that I am going to be keeping. This is the new Limoncello palette. Now that I have this yellow color, as well as I have the yellow in the Sailor Moon palette. Let's see. I think these yellows are enough to satisfy my yellow craving, so going to pass on this one. This e.l.f. eyeshadow palette I've kind of been holding on to, but honestly it's just not worth it, so let's let it go. I also have the So Jaded palette from ColourPop, but this palette's so big and I don't actually like big palettes. I'm not super drawn to the colors in here and I think I can find a better owner for this. So this is the ColourPop Mulan palette and I honestly just want to keep it just because it's Mulan, but I don't really reach for it too much. I think the colors are really nice, but compared to my other neutral palettes that I already have, I think I like those more than this one. This one has a little bit more cool toned browns and lots of like chunkier glitters, so for that reason I just don't reach for it that much. But it is a really cool palette and I really liked the Mulan packaging that they did. Okay, these kind of got pushed to the side. We have a Hourglass cream palette. I think I'm just gonna get rid of this one. It's pretty old. I haven't used it in a while. I am going to keep one of these Hourglass palettes. I have the Unlocked palette as well as the regular ambient lighting palette. I'm a little bit torn because I do like the ambient lighting formula, I think, a little bit more. This one is a little bit more shimmery, I find, but I don't know. I might have to test these out again. For now, we'll say I'm keeping this one and decluttering this one. I don't know how I'm going to be storing my makeup at my next place, so I feel like this eyeshadow palette might get lost, but in my current setup, I actually do reach for this pretty often. It's just such a nice bite-sized palette that has pretty much all the colors that you need. So I think I am gonna keep this one. This Lorac palette is a similar story. It's super tiny, has some really pretty colors, and I like that they're a little bit more purpley and plummy. I do remember really liking these colors a lot, so I'm gonna hold on to this one. And then I have two Pat McGrath palettes. I have the Midnight Sun palette. I definitely do not use this enough, but I am going to hold on to it. I think it's such a beautiful palette and it has some really beautiful earthy colors. Sometimes I reach into this palette just for this inner corner highlight. I might get rid of it next time, but for now I think it's just such a nice palette. And then I also have the Quad that's in the more neutral color story. My favorite eyeshadow is this one right here. It's like the perfect inner corner highlight for me. And the other ones I don't use too much, but honestly, I will keep this palette just for this color. And lastly, I have this ColourPop palette that has some eyeshadows and a highlighter in it. I definitely don't need to keep all of these, but I kind of want to get like a quad or something just to hold some of them. There are a couple shades that I remember really liking, like this one and I think this one. So maybe I'll be able to find a smaller palette to hold them, but I guess for now I'll just hold on to this. Okay, so honestly not too bad. I still have a lot of palettes, but we definitely cut down a good amount, as you can see here. Guys, we are nearing the finish line. I just have my single shadows here, and then we have lip products. I am pretty exhausted at this point. I think when it comes to my single eyeshadows, I don't think I'm going to be getting rid of too many, especially the ones in this drawer. These are like all of my super nice glitter topper colors, and these are just some of my favorites. I do think I can get rid of a couple of these ColourPop ones, so let's just dig into it. I'm just going to leave these in here because they're already pretty spread out, but right away I am going to be getting rid of these ColourPop pigment things. They're really pretty, but honestly I just don't like the packaging. If they fit in these drawers, then maybe I would like them a little bit more, but I just don't reach for them. They're hard to store, and I can get pretty similar looks with some of these. I also never used this one. This one's kind of a weird product. I think I'm ready to get rid of this pink one and these purple ones. I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. It's a really pretty light gold inner corner highlight color. This one is also super cool. It's called Moonwalk, and it has a really intense green shift to it. But the base color is more brown, so it looks actually pretty neutral on the eyelids. I think I'm gonna get rid of Deep Dive, which is the shade right here. It's just a little bit too like reddish purple. I'm also going to get rid of Lightning Bug. This is a really pretty color that has a lot of like intense metallic, chunky, coppery glitter, but it's a little bit too orange. This one is Degaff, and this is actually probably one of my favorite ones. I wish it were a little bit more bronzy, but this one's such a pretty color. I have a couple of these liquid glitter shadows. I am gonna get rid of this one from Vanilla Co. So on the left we have Kitten Karma. I am gonna keep this one because I don't have too many products with like a nice chunkier glitter like this, and this is such an OG product. This is in the shade Enchantress, and it's a little bit more of just like a regular metallic shade that I never use, so I'll get rid of this one. I have this Fenty liquid eyeshadow that no one talks about. I don't know if they still sell it, but I really liked this bronze color. I should compare it with the other new liquid eyeshadow that I have, but I remember really liking this color. And then I guess I'll move these two Kaja ones. I love both of these. I honestly don't need all of these Hourglass ones. Yeah, I think I'll get rid of Smoke. I wish it were a little bit warmer and a little deeper. Okay, this looks pretty good. I wonder if I can combine these into one. Maybe not. All right, not bad. These are the ones that I'm keeping, but I did get rid of the ones that I wanted to get rid of, so feeling pretty good. I think this setting of doing it on camera is definitely pushing me to get rid of more. All right, guys, thank you for sticking with me. We're in the final stretch. We're in lip products, and I am going to be as ruthless as I can in this area because I do not wear lip products very often. I'll just start off with the ones that I do actually wear. These are probably my favorite lip product. These are the Tower 28 lip glosses. The ones that I use the most are definitely, I also like this one, Coconut. It's a little bit more pink. And then I do like these two brighter colors. I am going to get rid of this brown one. I feel like I'm always on the hunt for a good brown gloss, but this one isn't my favorite and I always reach for this one instead. I have so many of these ColourPop Just to Tint lip colors. I definitely don't need all of those. Here's a couple of the colors I swatched. This one is Waikiki, this is City of Stars, and this is Rise and Shine. So I think I'm gonna keep the middle one out of the ColourPop tints. I'm going to be getting rid of all of these M Cosmetics glosses. They're just not really my favorite. They're not super glossy and they're pretty pigmented. I am going to keep my Glossier red gloss. I'm going to be keeping this Rare Beauty lip color. This is like probably the only matte lip color that I'll keep. I might keep one of these because I just love the packaging and YSL lip colors in general, but I definitely don't need all of these. Okay, here are all the lip products that I decided to keep. I couldn't keep it down to one drawer, unfortunately, but I feel like I still did pretty good. I have my nude lip colors and glosses here, some more bright, colorful glosses, my lip liners, a couple of extra lip glosses, and then here I have more of my glossy, more pigmented lip colors. These are a couple of the more matte pigmented colors, and then here are all of my red lip colors. I would like to pare this down a little bit more, but I feel like it's nice to have a couple of different variations if I do actually want a red lip. These are all of the lip products that I am decluttering, and I think that covers everything. I can't believe how long it took me to go through all of that, but we did it. I have an entire bucket of makeup here along with all the other products that I'm getting rid of, but I feel like my makeup collection is so much more manageable now, so I'm very excited, and we'll see how I figure out how to store everything in my next apartment. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was satisfying to you in some way, or enjoyable to watch, or helpful. But yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.